Welcome back, listeners. My name is Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. And if you're just tuning in, you are listening to the Haven Financial Group radio show, where for years now, we have discussed all these crucial retirement topics, all the puzzle pieces, financial issues, the economy, all these wonderful, maybe not so wonderful, retirement topics that are so important that should require attention, and oftentimes they go unnoticed. So if you're listening today, give us a call at any time. Come on in and visit with us, 612-504-8400. Send us an email at info@havenfinancialgroup.com if you'd rather go that route. Whatever it takes, we'd love to get to know you, answer questions, and any other things that concern you or worry you about retirement.
So, Larry, let's talk a little bit about the history of inflation and monetary policy here in this United States. Obviously, we are entering the 4th of July week. We're all sort of feeling a bit patriotic. And this one is especially great because it's 250 years, which is amazing. We've had World Cup all over the country. We've had quite a year here in the U.S. So let's talk a little bit about monetary policy and, as we said, history. Inflation has been certainly forefront for many people for the last couple of years.
Well, this segment's a little bit of a history lesson. I can't say that history was my best subject, but there is a lot of history, American history. Yeah, you're right, 250 years, amazing. Inflation has always been a constant presence in America. But the way the U.S. has understood and managed inflation has evolved dramatically over all these years. Quickly in the late 1700s, there was no dollar as we know it. There was British pounds and other types of currency, very unstable. Inflation was astronomical back in the Revolutionary War in that area of like 1778. Inflation hit like 30%. All kinds of problems that went on during that time, extreme volatility. And then recognized the need for more order. The U.S. Treasury was established in 1789 with Alexander Hamilton as the first secretary. Kind of a little history lesson here. Hamilton's vision brought structure to the nation's finances and laid the groundwork for the monetary policy. In 1791, the first bank in the United States was created. There was a unified currency. It stabilized credit, but that too failed after 20 years. Now, the second bank in the United States followed in 1816. You can see how this has evolved. Mm-hmm. But that was dissolved in 1836 amid political opposition. Now we have no central bank at that time for nearly 80 years. Wow. That absence led to economic panic, a lot of it, bank runs, inflation spikes like we never seen throughout the 19th century. Eventually, there was a need for stability, and civilization started improving. It couldn't be ignored any longer. And in 1913, the Federal Reserve was established as the nation's central bank as we know it, to manage inflation, to stabilize the banking system, implement national monetary policy. So inflation's always been here. The country's evolved, the currency's evolved, the banking system has all evolved. And now we got tools that really can monitor and adjust interest rate, money supply. Again, we still have our issues, but we can handle them a lot more easily than we have over this historical timeline that I just given you. So again, a lot to that, but true.
Yeah, and very, very interesting. And what I think is consistent throughout would be the issue of inflation. Inflation is something that we've been dealing with here in modern time. And this is something that we talk about on a pretty regular basis, Larry. Planning for inflation in your retirement. It's not an easy thing to do because it ebbs and flows. Talk a little bit about how the folks at Haven Financial Group deal with the issue of inflation when it comes to putting together a portfolio.
Well, we've always planned for it. I still come across advisors that really don't plan for inflation, don't factor it into their, long-term projections, which we're doing, out into your mid-90s. Inflation ebbs and flows, just like you said. We have always factored it in. In our Monte Carlo projections, the investment team will factor in a higher rate of inflation, oftentimes 3 to 3.5%, where the target is 2. but we would rather plan for the worst and hope and pray for the best. If we rather than over promise, let's not go that route. If we're more successful because inflation's lower, well, then the numbers look better. So, a lot of financial folks are good at puffing up numbers, and I call it a complete waste of time. Let's be reasonable. Let's be practical. So we've always factored it in because the purchasing power of the dollar over all these years has drastically changed. If things are better than they are at the end result, hey, great. But we're planning for it no matter what.
So tell me how your clients have been enduring these inflation numbers in the last year and a half or 2 years.
Well, we're always looking at where should they be drawing. As far as inflation and investments, when inflation's been high, we got into, what other options are there? Treasury inflation protection securities. Should we juggle around the portfolio a little bit to hedge against inflation? What's advertised on TV isn't always the best for everybody, because when inflation gets high, guess what advertisement we see? For gold. Like, we're not against gold. We have gold in our portfolios. We don't do physical gold and physical stuff like that as some do, but they always say gold or precious metal is a hedge against inflation. I don't disagree with that, but people ask us all the time, is that a good thing to do? We're not saying it's good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent. If you're talking physical gold and silver, whatever the precious metal is, do you have a place to store it? How practical is it? If you have a bunch of cash sitting on the sideline, sure, we're not against you going and trying and diversifying if it makes sense. Now, is it a good long-term goal? How has it performed historically? Those are the things we're going to look at. We like to look at all the options that are out there. We don't want tunnel vision on just this or this. We want to look at all the options and monitor it and come up with it doesn't have to be a complicated portfolio. Our clients don't have to be the experts, but there should be an awareness of understanding on why we're doing what we're doing. And those are the conversations that we continue to have ongoing throughout the course of the year and years as we work with folks for a long period of time.
Larry, those out there who are working with someone who does not take inflation into account, it seems to me they are at a much greater risk of running out of money before their retirement ultimately comes to an end.
Inflation's a game changer. I don't care what anybody says. It is a game changer. It can make or break and change the whole outlook. And if you're not planning for it, you might get left in the dust. And that's what that's what we're trying not to do in retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. While we talk about inflation here very quickly, I want to just talk a little bit about your website and some of those upcoming educational seminars, because these are the kinds of things that I know this kind of education is what you share with people when they attend some of these great seminars.
Yeah, havenfinancialgroup.com. There's calendar of events there at our Haven Education Center on site. Beautiful room that we have there. We also do a lot in the public setting, libraries. We have one coming up here in July, another wills, trusts, and legacy planning that we'll be doing at the Bloomington Center of the Arts. Great venue there. We'll be doing that with our estate planning partners, Provision Law, Carrie, Keith, and Lexi. We just had a class, very full, successful class, Preparing for Tomorrow, Essential End-of-Life Planning. We had White Funeral Home. We had our Haven team, and we had our estate planning attorneys. Even conversations that can be difficult to have. What do we do when we lose a loved one? What's kind of the order of events? Checklist of things, from being proactive to having classes like Social Security. When should we turn it on? Medicare Made Simple classes. Well, it's not simple. Yeah, but it can be a lot easier if you have somebody that can explain it to you, like Glenn and Isabella. Tax planning discussions, required minimum distribution classes. Throughout the course of the whole year, we teach lots of these classes. Education, I heard somebody say, education is the potential for power. It's what we do with it that really matters.
Yeah. So you can find out more about those educational seminars on their website. It's havenfinancialgroup.com. Larry, they're open to anybody who's listening, correct?
They are. Any listeners, our clients, even our clients for years, They continue to come out. We had a big one here a couple of weeks ago at the Legends Club. a whole retirement class. And we had about 50 both nights. And guess what? We probably had 6, 10 clients. So again, the education, but at Haven Financial Group, by the way, celebrating in July here, our 11th anniversary. Very thankful for that. A lot of great clients we got to help along the way. Because of that, as many of you know, my wife is Rochelle is the office manager here. She's been on the show a couple times. Incidentally, I found out that we had more listeners when she was on than when she wasn't on. Of course, she had to point that out several times. But we also like to plan client appreciation events. Maybe you're getting this. I don't think you are. This, for example, every end of August, end of summer, we have Charlie's on Prior Lake. We take over. We have 2 sessions. Just for us, we have pontoon rides, 5 pontoons, live music. We like to have fun and give back. It's not just retirement stuffy. So that's a big event. We do after tax season at Carboni's, and they close down for us. We have a veteran shredding truck. We filled 2 trucks this year in 6 hours. Great times. Holiday open house here at the office, 2 days. Toys for Tots, a couple of military Marines here. We like to have fun. In addition to all the education comes the fun as well. And again, clients, there's no shop talk. It's all fun here at Haven Financial Group for those meetings. And
yes,
maybe that's
it speaks to the atmosphere there in the office. It speaks to what your team is all about.
You know what? It does. It is. Yeah. There's no I in team. Let's just put it that way. We are a team. We got great chemistry. We all have the same passion in what we do because we see when people make the mistakes that they could have been avoided. It's unfortunate, but we see it all too often. It's because people are not getting the attention they deserve and what, quite frankly, they're paying for in a lot of cases. So that's where the passion comes from.
If any of this resonates with you folks, give them a call. 612-504-8400 is how you reach the folks at Haven Financial Group. And a quick reminder that you can go to their website to learn more about some of those educational seminars. It's havenfinancialgroup.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about planning for a life of freedom in retirement. We'll wrap things up on the other side of the break. This is the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.